transformational power of education and storytelling. Today, as we gather virtually from across Canada, we recognize that poetry is not just an art form, it's a vital means of communicating our experiences, our challenges, our hopes, our dreams, our barriers, our triumphs, who we are as individuals. This event is a testament to the collaboration between the AP Afro Canadian Diaspora Seminar and our dedicated partners at RBC Future Launch, and teachers and students and administrators and school districts across the country, all working together to nurture and empower youth. In our partnership with the College Board, and I know that their national representative for Canada is here in the meeting today to welcome and congratulate you all. In our partnership with the College Board and AP Seminar Program, we are committed to enhancing student skills, encouraging them to explore their narratives, and equipping them to influence change in their communities. As we listen to the voices of young poets today, let us remember that every spoken word or written sentence stems from a deep well of cultures and worldviews, of histories and current realities. This gathering is a space where our stories converge and where we can uplift one another, and where we affirm the importance of expressing our unique perspectives. Now, before we begin, I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge the land in which I join you today. I'm located in Treaty 6 territory, a traditional meeting grounds, gathering place, and traveling route of the Cree, Saulteaux, Blackfoot, Métis, Dene, and Nakota Sioux, a region that has been home to diverse Indigenous nations for centuries. And as we participate in the celebration of words and our culture, let us reflect on our shared commitment to reconciliation and representation. The themes of community and connection are intertwined within the narratives we explore, whether through poetry or in our everyday lives. Let us honor the rich history of First Nations peoples of this land and recognize the importance of their stories alongside our own. May we continue to work together to build equitable spaces that amplify every voice and foster understanding among all communities. Thank you for being here and for being a part of this conversation today. I'm so looking forward to celebrating the power of words and the beauty of our shared stories that the students will be celebrating today. Now, as we delve deeper into today's celebration of poetry and culture and the diverse narratives that shape our identities, I am thrilled to introduce a remarkable leader who embodies the values of equity, inclusivity, and empowerment. Karen Murray, System Superintendent of Equity, Anti-Racism, and Anti-Oppression, is with us today from the Toronto District School Board. And Karen is not only an award-winning educator, but also an international speaker and a lecturer dedicated to fostering understanding and action around critical issues such as equity, anti-oppression, anti-racism, and anti-Black racism. Her commitment to these values extends beyond the classroom. She actively engages with educators, administrators, community leaders to deepen their understanding of advocacy in these crucial areas. And as a strong proponent of community-led initiatives, Karen believes in harnessing a collective strength for our communities to support the learning and development of our future generations here today. So please join me in welcoming Karen Murray to share her insights and passion for cultivating equitable educational landscapes that honor and amplify the voices of our youth. Karen, over to you.
Thank you so much, and good afternoon, everyone. It's such a pleasure. I'm so looking forward. I've been putting this date in my calendar for a period of time. Hold on a second. I just realized my computer did something. I don't know what it just did. But I'll keep going, just in interest of time, and I'll come back here. There we go. See, it did it all by itself. I'm waving. But I just wanted to share how important this opportunity is, and I'm so glad my colleague and my co-partner in this, Superintendent Hoppy from Peel District School Board, give a wave, is with us. One of the things we wanted to do and continue to do it showed the brilliance of who we are. But that can't happen if students' voice isn't uplifted and amplified. And we know that one of the ways that young people are able to express themselves and think about how they are going to be generational change makers in this world is through art. And we are so privileged to be able to use this vehicle of spoken word in art to be able to talk about the things that matter for us, and the things that will matter for those in the future. working together across nation is a way to talk about the brilliance of those who have contributed, especially those who are African Canadian, who are across the African diaspora, to all these places within our nation. To be able to do so with each other makes it even more special. And I'm so looking forward to today being one of many, many, many opportunities that we'll get to move and engage together. So it is my pleasure. It's my pleasure to begin our journey. And that journey is with a renowned artist, one of our first Ontario Poet Laureates, good friend of mine, an amazing, amazing, amazing educator beyond being a poet. And that is Mr. Randall Adiji. So before Randall starts, I just want to say this. Randall brains of his talent, but he brought in his talent through the voices of our students. And so, Randall, I can't thank you enough for uplifting our young people, giving them an opportunity to use this medium that we all love to be able to showcase their thinking that we are going to receive, but we're also going to move forward with. So, thank you so much with a deep, deep appreciation. Loving that you're on this journey and loving and how we're going to continue to move forward. Over to you, Randall.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Karen. Thank you, Sarah. And thank you, everyone, for being a part of this incredible initiative. It's just a pleasure to really be here, to see the journey that we've been able to take with the students to get here. I wanted to speak on spoken word because I think there's sometimes like a misnomer or just like a misunderstanding, I think, of what spoken word is, what it can be. And for me, the way I came into spoken word was somebody who was just dealing with a lot of hardship, a lot of troubles, and I just wanted to be able to express myself. But I think the difficulty with navigating poverty, acceptance, belonging, racism, blackness, like all the different things that I was going through as a 12-year-old, it was hard to really put it into words. And it was a teacher that really gave me an opportunity to explore my story, to tell my story. And I think more than telling is really coming face to face with your story and realizing that you are not what happens to you. You're more so experiencing what's happening to you. So I wasn't necessarily going through a period of juvenile delinquency. I think I was just experiencing it. So it allowed me to really look at the experience and look at what I was going through with a different lens, if I can say that. So for me, when I think about this project and the approach to this project was we really wanted to start it off with the students hearing and experiencing what a spoken word performance presentation can look like. We explored myself performing. I also had the gift of having Tracy K with me at Thistletown Collegiate Institute, which is really, really great. And we really wanted to give the students a dynamic experience of what spoken word can look like, what it can be. The first thing we did is we wanted it to be a very cathartic practice. We wanted it to be something that the students could really look at all that they've been through, all the hardships that they've been through, and just kind of like release it, just let it go. And it happened through a series of just really questioning the system, questioning racism, questioning all the things that oppress us. Because the reality is, none of us chose the color of our skin. We all came here and we have to navigate the privilege and the oppression that we face. But the reality is, we can do something about it. We can talk about it. We can educate other people. And I think spoken word really allows us to have a conversation that normal dialogue doesn't necessarily allow you to have. So that cathartic practice was where we started. From there, we talked about your resilience, the resilience to overcome the difficulties and things that you've been through. We started talking about belonging. And we then went to race and racism and talked a little bit about just self-love and acceptance. So what you're going to hear today are these themes of prejudice, overcoming negative obstacles, self-love, self-acceptance, belonging, resilience. And I'm just really excited. I think more than anything, I don't want to take up too much space. I'm more excited for you to hear these poems because I think when you listen to the poetry, please don't just listen to the words that you're hearing. Listen to the inherent meaning that is behind it and what it takes for a 16, 17-year-old to really come face to face with their experiences and be so bold and brave to talk about it. I hope you hear that more than just the words, because the words speak for themselves, let's just say. I guess another thing I wanted to share about this process, the difficulty that I found just working with some of the students was it's so hard to put these experiences into words sometimes. So instead of working on 1 or 2 poems, we worked on 3, 4 poems, and it was really about them writing different themes, different topics that they could kind of amalgamate and pull into one poem. So that's what you're going to hear today. I'd like to share a poem that just speaks to how I came into spoken word, the importance of spoken word to me, and I hope you get something, take something away with it from it. This poem is called The War Within. There's a war going on inside no one is safe from. It won't matter if you're 3 feet or 8'1". We all battle ourselves to be a great one. Since day one, I've had my battles dealing with abandonment. As a child, I navigated the world feeling like I was lacking in. It started when I was 8 years old, working for my parents' approval. Me, a firstborn Canadian, my father's typical Ghanaian bravado, you know, the usual. He had unrealistic expectations of me. At times, it diminished my sense of self-worth. It cut me deep like a knife with his words. It hurt to feel like nothing I did made me feel like who I was good enough. As a juvenile, I was far from the usual. The battered and broken pieces of me were searching for home in places I often felt alone. So I tried to make them happy with my smarts and my grades, but they wanted that 2% when I got a 98. It just wasn't enough. At times, I felt like I wasn't enough. Thirsty for a love I couldn't find from my own blood, questioning what family really was without a true, complete concept of us. My abandonment stemmed from the absence of my parents between the ages of 1 and 6, a nomad trying to find where I fit. Growing up, not knowing who they were had me constantly questioning my sense of self-worth. So I started picking fights at school just to quell my rage. Then they sentenced me to the margins when we weren't on the same page. But that was another chapter. When I was stuck between the lines, they threw the book at me and called the pastor. But little did they know what will come after. A revelation of my testament. I discovered poetry and it became my exodus, was baptized in the river lines of a poetic genesis. The gift of a pen and paper was heaven sent. I began writing my pain on pages, sharing my vulnerability on stages, because as a child, I know what it was like to feel unheard. I learned my truth through the gift of spoken word, made a gift from a curse, founded rise so others can learn the power of art and self-expression while using it to serve. I'm thankful for the journey I observed, how I transformed my trauma and began healing from hurt. The childhood traumas we went through do not have to define who we become. In fact, I'm so grateful for my dad and my mom, especially my dad. As an adult, I now know that my parents really did the best they could with what they had. In fact, they're now like my best friends. Healing my inner child helped them make amends. Building on that foundation, I realized I had some stories that needed reconstruction. They were a blueprint to help me elevate and function. I had to break it down to rebuild, learn new skills. I leveled up to higher heights, and it gave me a new lease on life. I learned that the foundation we had at home does not have to become our ceiling. We don't have to throw our walls up behind the window pane due to a lack of healing. Every time we hit rock bottom, it's groundbreaking. What we can gain from the power of perseverance and patience. We all have an inner child that needs healing. As adolescents, some stories we tell ourselves can be deceiving. These stories form the perception we base our life upon. Without releasing the pain, they stay with us for a lifelong, a cycle of trauma bonds until we peel back the truth. The life is not happening to you, it's happening for you. Sit down and talk to your inner child. Sit still and listen. Know that you can handle all the pain that you were given. Don't let the pain define you. Let it design you. Let it remind you of the generational traumas left to reveal. Look behind you, look inside you, and give your inner child permission to heal. Thank you very much. That was my piece called The War Within. And it was hard to get through. It was hard to write the poem because it really allows you to sit face to face with some of our traumas. And I think we live in a society that's really made it okay to kind of numb your pain, made it okay to not talk about it, not feel, not deal with it, not sit with it, just run from it. And there's anything and everything that there is to distract us from dealing with our pain, with sitting with our trauma, with sitting with how we feel about certain things. When we don't sit with it, it festers. And spoken word was really that outlet for me. And so whenever I go into a school, I know that young people are going through things because I know that adversity does not discriminate, no matter how old you are or where you are. And so this project, this idea that what my approach, I should say, was really to give the young people an opportunity to just have a cathartic practice, to release, to talk about it in a way that is both educational, healing, expressive, and also very reflective. And that's what you're going to be hearing today. So yeah, it just gives me a lot of pleasure to introduce these schools. I also just got to take a moment to just thank the teachers and everybody who's involved in making this possible. Thank you, all of you, all of you. But from York Memorial, I want to thank Miriam Shakali. Thank you so much for your dedication to the project. A big shout out to you. From Brampton Centennial, Jordan Habati, thank you so much, sir. You are just a gift of a human being, and I want to thank you. And Kamise Hutchinson, thank you for your BSA and what you've done to support those students. It's just been a great process to get here. So without any further ado, the first school that we're going to introduce to come up here is going to be Brampton Centennial. And again, just a reminder, when you're listening to these poems, I want you to listen to the experiences and not just the words. I hope you can feel the words. I hope you can feel the experiences and really connect with the stories to the best of your ability. But without any further ado, Jordan.
Good morning, or good afternoon, everyone. Oh, it's a long day already. Our PDSB is located on Treaty 13A of the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. We want to acknowledge our Indigenous First Nations, Métis, and Inuit communities that have always existed here and continue to exist here on this land. I would like to present our student poets. I believe first up was Deandra, so I'm going to let her take the floor.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Deandra, like was introduced. Today I'll be reading the poem I wrote, Belonging in Canada. The necessity everyone looks for since I can remember. It was a want, a deep desire to belong, a gift I would look under the tree for, but somehow had to look to someone else. Wanting my hair to look like my fellow classmates, and seeing the many jobs around my city, staring at those posters thinking, they don't look like me. Asking the question why, I desire for the answer. The representation was a demonstration of why I should not reach far, but maintain a small imagination. We know to call 911 when in danger, but the demeanor of those men changed the reflection in the mirror. Should they alone ring a bell? The pain two Canadians have displayed haunts the region. Let's not be graphic, but what was the reason? Why did his face leave you disgraced? That someone's son, a friend, on a life cut short, but now we are the people left on the fence. So why don't I belong again? We see the hurt in their eyes. Ladies and gentlemen, don't be surprised. 400 Canadians turned away, displaced from their homes, something they once called their own, now existing in a broken world while they sit on their thrones. Don't look away now. It's what we need to know. Although this may make you shuffle in your chair, but did anyone consider the legacy we just left in the air? The kids who look at men and women like me and automatically move 10 feet. Bigotry, the one leading our great nation, trumps the rights of the desiring citizen. Now what? Your unbearable pressure you put on me. But don't show your worry. You're too strong for that. Just be comfortable, not too comfortable. Don't show that this is your home too. But I'm confused. Why don't I belong? The intolerance, I see it on your face. The empathetic feeling of the past is present. The feeling grows strong, remembering the power I hold in my tongue. Now at last, love has come along. The lonely days of striding for the answer to come. I only belong when I benefit to you, when I fit in your mold, your impossible hold. Create your steps today, for now you will always know why you belong. Thank you.
Thank you, Deandra. Once again, thank you. And next up, we have Denver, who would like to share his poem.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Denver, and today I'll be presenting my poem, Racism, When Will You Leave? Racism encircles the world, enshrined in the souls of many. Prejudice, stereotypes, and bigotry based off one's uniqueness, their color, their race, their creed, all things used to define one, used to undermine one, me. others like me. Oppressive practices used to segregate, make one inferior galore on lands that were colonized, conquered, not even yours, forced to assimilate their cultures out the door. Apartheid, residential schools, internment camps, examples of the darkness that entrenched and blackened the hearts of the equal to undermine and use others for their personal vendettas. Today, everyone is made to believe that equality exists, but it's just living a constant cycle of past prejudice. Yet, this divided world continues to exist, a constant cycle that won't be missed. History continues to repeat itself, that we cannot deny. The scars ever so present remind us every time we cry, relive trauma, generation after generation, social justice, protests, and dismantling you over and over again. How many people have to be hurt, killed, and brutally repressed until the color of one's skin isn't something everyone has to detest? When minorities could walk freely without looking possessed? When will they have the same opportunities, not put to the test? When Black is really equal to white, not a group of pests? When they see the police, they don't have to worry about being put under arrest. When the melanin in their skin is finally love, not a cause for social unrest. When really can my feelings finally be put to rest? So racism, when will you leave this world? When will you take the darkness you bring in and stop keeping score? When will your deathly chokehold on the earth be no more? I hope to see a day we have been fighting for, finally ending this century-long war.
Thank you, Denver. And thank you again, CGE, Rendell, and Superintendent Hoppy and Murray for having us a part of this.
Ooh, well, yeah, a lot of great topics. And one thing I'll say is the AP program at Brampton Centennial. I really wanted to lean on some of the things that we're learning. So as much as you can speak of contemporary experiences that you're having, how do you connect it to things that have happened in the past? So we wanted to really lean on how the AP course was informing them, what they were learning about it, so they can incorporate. So if you listen, there were different issues that happened in the past that they're learning in their courses that they were able to embed within their own lived experiences and connect to. So that was really cool with Brampton Centennial. Thank you again, Jordan. Thank you, Deandra. And thank you, Denver, for that presentation. Coming on next, we have York Memorial. And we did a very similar process with York Memorial in terms of leaning on what they're learning in the AP. What I loved about this group specifically is they just had so much to share, so much to say. There was just a very beautiful way of how we got to where we are today. So this process was different, but I want to introduce Miriam to introduce the students who will be presenting from York Memorial.
Hello, everyone. How are you guys? Thank you for having us today. I'm just going to acknowledge the land that we're hosted on. We're hosted on the lands of the Mississauga of the Anishinaabe, the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, and the Wenda, and we also recognize the enduring presence of all First Nations. Today with me, I have Jada Bogle, Kamai Miller, Rahia Idris, and Talib Abdi, and they're going to be sharing their poems today. So the first student that's going to go is Jada. Okay.
Good afternoon, I'm Jada. My poem is A Message to Society. Dear society, since I was born, I've been in the middle, in between the blacks and the whites, a color war I did not know how to fight. I love my mom, I love my dad, I love the person who came to be, but you can't seem to let me be. You're black, you're white, it's like you can't decide, and I'm in the middle trying to survive. This isn't about your confusion, because I know who I am, a kind, smart, biracial girl. Bi meaning two. Bi meaning two, racial meaning race. I am two at once, not one. I was not given two to choose from. I was born with two races. From a mom who should never get hate for raising her kids. From a dad who gave me beautiful skin and hair. The skin that comes in different shades, which adds to the beauty of this community. But you think it's dirty. Of course it's fine to tan though, because spraying paint on your skin isn't dirty at all. Then the versatile hair, curls to coils, braids and twists, cornrows that could be any shape, the hair that always changes. That is true art. It's the same hair that you find unprofessional. This poem is for the uninformed to try to understand the world that we live in is unfit for the unique ones. It's unbelievable how long this has gone unfixed. You hate and love me. You hate what you see. You love what my mom gave to me. Learn to see me as one. I am not one person, I am two at once. Thank you.
Next, we have Kamai Miller.
Let's Talk About Supremacy by Kamai Miller. Hold up, I want to talk to you, Supremacy. I'm sick and tired of how you see and make me. Day in and day out, you want me to be inside the mold of the world you built. A place where you and others like me see me as less than, dunce, ghetto, disposable, and expendable. I'm a last resort if my name sounds too black, or if I act too bold, outside of my shell because I don't fit the mold you built. You're quick to undermine and ignore the voices of those who have a darker shade, which just fills me with rage. Within me, you hang over a sign that tells everyone that I'm unfit for my rhyme, unfit for the times, unlovable, something to shut down like you shoot down every hardworking man and woman each day. Every day, I worry about being stopped by the police for walking while being black. Those who are there to serve and protect, but when they see black, they're there to serve and select. Tell me why, at the supermarket, my white friend can go through the checkout aisle without any problems. But when I follow through, the guard stops me to check my jacket to see if I stole something. When the only reason why I brought it was because my mom said it was going to be cold outside. Every day, I feel a weight on top of me as heavy as the weight of the world. The weight of my ancestors that had to fight for your more hands-on counterpart. I ain't even going to say his name because he probably still sees us as slaves. Honestly, I just want to wake up to a world who ain't trying to break us. I want to wake up knowing that I got a chance, really knowing that my presence can make a stance against the injustice that you and your group spread. I want to love myself. I want to believe that I'm strong. I want to believe that I can make something of myself, something you hate to hear. I want to grow up and become the engineer that I dreamed of ever since middle school. I want to see my future kids grow up with the understanding that they can dream in hopes that they can form their own beliefs and opinions that'll help them grow and strive for their own goals without any interference or any invisible walls made by your limiting beliefs or to be affected by your destructive thoughts and tendencies, things that were forced on people like me.
Next, we have Rahia Idris.
Hello, everyone. My name is Rahia Idris, and this is my poem on From Grudge to Gratitude. It was only in 5th grade where in the corner of the classroom I sat, my skin a shade of radiant black, whispers and laughs coming from the corner of the room. If I spoke up, I felt I was doomed. As I reported it to the teacher, Miss K, it wasn't so soon. She didn't do anything about it, as I felt like a fool. Man, how I dislike school. From the negative comments of my big forehead, slurs being said, or about my beautiful braided hair, as they talked bad about me, I did nothing but stare. Oh, Miss K, the brown woman you are, do you not have any care? Every day it was something new, yet I felt afraid to bring it up because I'd cry and be seen as weak. Little would they know, I'm now at my peak. From the grudge I held to the insecurities I've refrained, I can do nothing now but from this learn to gain. Now, the person I am today wouldn't be myself without having this experience. I keep boundaries with people. I don't take BS from anyone anymore. They know not to speak to me with disrespect in any way, shape, or form. They know not to speak to me with disrespect in any way, shape, or form. I carry myself in a bright light and have gained confidence. And really, nobody will ever stop this. I'm no longer that mesquite little Eritrean girl who couldn't speak up for herself, who was a punk. All that nonsense that has been stuck with me, that's all now junk. I've grown, I've learned, and I will always remember this, even though all I wanted back then was for the class to be dismissed. As I started this poem off with a grudge, I am now ending it off with gratitude. Now that I speak up for myself, Unfortunately, I'm known to have an attitude. I am not any of those slurs. My forehead is big and beautiful, and my hair at the time was gorgeous and always well done. Gosh, if I were to speak to them now, I'd make them feel dumb. Nonetheless, I have nothing else to say but thank you. For the trials that have shaped me and the lessons learned, these experiences have made me a better person, and that's what I've earned. Refining my character has made my path turn, to remind myself that it doesn't define you, but design you. And from that, that's all I've learned. Thank you.
And the last poem we have is by Talib Abdi.
Hello, you guys. What I've endured. My name is Talib Abdi, and my poem's called What I've Endured and What I Love. Dear Anna, you tried to break my stride, but I held my ground, kept my pride. 2 long years, you made it rough, but I stayed strong, I stayed tough. You asked me, the only black boy there, if you could say the N-word. How's that fair? Why do you need me to give you the go? You marked me low, hoped I'll fall, but I rose higher, above it all. In grade 9, I loved this course so much, but with you, Troy was out of touch. Now you're gone, the air feels new. I could finally push on through. I love this subject once again and leave behind back then. I love the strength that lives in me, a fire passed down through family tree. I love my skin, my voice, my name, carrying history, pride, and no shame. I love being Somali, our songs, our pride, the way our culture stays strong worldwide. The smell of Angera, the sound of Hoya yelling, and the stories on how my Hoya's family came to Canada. I love the community here in Toronto, from Dixon to Woolner, where Somali voices grow. We lift each other up, we make each other proud. Our roots are deep, our vibe is loud. I love my family, the ones who care, their laughter, their love, the bonds that we share. Through every struggle, they've held me tight, reminding me always to stand and fight. I love myself, my roots, my way, how I move through each and every day, Somali and strong, proud and free. This is what I've endured and what I love about me.
And those are the poems from the students at York Memorial. Thank you so much for organizing this, everyone. Thank you, Rendell, for coming every single week for the past 4 weeks to work with the students. We appreciate you and we appreciate all that you guys are doing for us.
Pleasure is ours. One thing I wanted to say that I really appreciated about the work we did with York Memorial, and you kind of hear the theme across, but there's kind of like this hero's journey. There's this experience, a negative experience that took place. There was a learning, there was a reflection, a reflective moment to say, I don't have to be what you have told me that I am, but I'm now learning to embrace who I am. And that's something I wanted to do with York Memo because of, yes, the AP course, but just like the conversations we had around belonging. We had a lot of conversation around belonging, and self-acceptance was just like a natural conversation. What a great group. And yeah, Miriam, you're doing an incredible job with those students. Just kudos to you again. But yeah, really beautiful, really beautiful. And last but not least, in terms of the schools that I had the opportunity to work with, we have Thistletown Collegiate. Really excited to see and hear these poems. I wanted to do something a little bit different. And what you're going to hear is you're going to hear one individual poem by Natalia Jackson, and then a collaborative poem. I just felt the words together was going to be that much more impactful. And so coming up, I'm going to introduce Kamisia Hutchinson to introduce the students from Thistletown Collegiate.
All right. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Kamisia Hutchinson, and I'm from Thistletown. I would just like to start by saying thank you to everyone involved in this initiative, especially Rondell and Tracy. Thank you for meeting with us and coming and doing such a fantastic job with our students. I'd like to begin by acknowledging the land. So we acknowledge we're hosted on the land of the Mississaugas of the Anishinaabe, the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, and the Wendat. We also recognize the enduring presence of all First Nations, Métis, and Inuit peoples. So the first poem from Thistletown will be from Natalia Jackson, and she's going right now.
Oh, Natalia, we can't hear you. I may have an idea. If you go to where the mute button is, if you press on the arrow, it might show you where the microphone and the speaker are coming out of. That might be it.
Mm-hmm. Right. As we wait for Thistleton to navigate their issues there, I'm going to ask Randall, can you tell me, in your writing and the writing that you've heard today, what themes do you think are the most important to express? Like, is it very much based on your own personal direction, or like what is it? Identity? Is it resilience? I don't know. Like, how do you navigate all of these emotions when you're trying to express yourself? That was like 3 questions in one, but it's just I'm just so impacted by all the different words that are being shared.
That's a good question. I feel like identity is probably like at the center of it all, whereas everything else kind of branches out. And I say that because when you know who you are, if you're navigating a world where you know who you are, as opposed to where the world is telling you who you should be or how the world sees you, then you're approaching it from a different lens. So when we talk about resilience, when we talk about just being able to overcome hardships, when you have a keen sense of who you are, I find that it helps. So you'll notice across all poems, at some point the students accept there's like a moment of self-reflection, a moment of like, this is who I am, I'm standing true and firm in who I am. And I think to me that's like a huge thing at this age for high schools to be more connected to who they are, not how the world perceives them, but how they really identify and see themselves. I think that's a key aspect.
Amazing. I mean, what's your favorite part of the writing process when you're personally writing?
Probably the editing. My favorite part is editing. Weird to say, but you'll write a really good poem and then you go back, you look at it a third time and a fourth time, and you say, oh, I could, if I change this word, it changes the whole meaning for the sentence or for the whole stanza. And I think editing is really powerful. But also something I do, and educators, feel free to take this. Something I do is something called a word map. So let's say today the theme we're going to talk about is social justice. So I ask students to write 4 words that come to mind when you think of social justice. So you might think equity, you might think law, you might think litigation, you might think courtroom. I don't know, just kind of throwing some things out. So now you write those 4 words. With each word, you come and think about what other 4 words come to mind, because naturally, as human beings in the English language, when you think of one word, it automatically begets thoughts of other words, essentially. And so now students will have about 4 times 4, about 16 words that they can 16 words that they can pull from and work with ultimately. And so yeah, it just kind of gives them an opportunity to use those words or to use them as kind of a reflection or like a catalyst for the poem. So yeah, that part's fun, but the editing is probably my favorite part for sure.
So great. Thistleton, how is your sound doing there?
We got it worked out.
Amazing. All right.
So I just want to restart. My name is Natalia Jackson. I'm from Thistletown Collegiate Institute, and my poem is entitled Dark Drops of Gold. I hate the way you make me feel. To be in the skin isn't a curse, it is real. You hear black magic and think evil. Black is magic, or is that too lethal? Have you seen my afro defy gravity? What goes up must come down, never really applied to me. Have you seen my skin during golden hour? Even my shadow screams beauty and power. From the drops of melanin to the coils of my hair, I am beautiful. Does that scare you and fill you with fear? I have dropped from the heavens on a day not so clear. The midnight sky chose me. I never meant to scare. My skin has always been a gift of protection. Regardless of what they say, it was never just a complexion. My skin is rich with potential and healing. From the soles of my feet to the crown on my head, did you know I'm just like you, full of empathy and feeling? I am proud to be Black, but those words always twist my stomach, like butterflies in a cage forced to flutter. My words are still loud, even if I stutter. I pay respects to those long ago who couldn't even mutter. To be in this skin is laughing until your heart aches. I wonder how angry Black woman could ever be my fate. Did you know in the end we all have the same fate? Why would you want your legacy overclouded with hate? So, One man's trash is another man's treasure. The same skin that you curse has always been a pleasure. Thank you for listening to my poem.
Okay, next we have Amina, Abdul, and Abdi. I'm sorry, Amina, Abdi, and Rauda Abdul. Oh, where's the study?
Okay. Hi. My name is Amina. And my name is Rauda. And we are here. We're grade 12 students from the Sultan Collegiate Institute. And today we will be presenting our poem, which is a collab between me and Amina on the power of words. This poem is based on an experience that happened to us on the train when we were with our friends. So we hope you guys feel the emotions that we felt that night. To the white man on the up train. Thank you for showing me how ignorant you are. I won't let your words take away from my honor. You shunned me for adhering to my hijab simply because your narrow mindset felt entitled to my body. Did you know? You spoke to a nation of Muslims who strive for high ranks. Is it the faith we wear that bothers you? Why is it that you seen my veil, you assumed oppression? You spoke nothing but a mere confession to these single-story assumptions that, hey, those hijabi girls over there must be living under restriction. You believe you had a say in my liberation, but all you did was oppress me with your superiority savior complex. Do you feel the peace? The peace emanating from my soul after I reunite with my Lord in prostration? Did you know you spoke to a nation of women? Women who are in a constant race to secure their place. Is it our determination that bothers you? You make us feel conscious of our hijabs and our blackness, then turn around and mimic our authenticity just to call it chic, classy, fashion forward. يا أيها الناس إنا خلقناكم من قدر يا أيها الناس إنا جعلناكم من قدر وقلبا قالوا قبائلا لتعارف إن أكرمكم عند الله أتقاكم إن الله عليم خبير. O humanity, indeed we created you from a male and female, and made you into peoples and tribes so that you may get to know one another. Surely the most noble of you in the sight of Allah is the most righteous among you. Allah is truly all-knowing, all-aware. The Quran, chapter 49, verse 13. Our religion teaches us to appreciate our skin, and appreciate it we do. Did you know The gold on my skin can't be mine, it's mine.
With each kanga
And Gawasar, we carry the art and history of our ancestors. Our flags, our flags, our flags. Our flags that represent my Tanzanian, my Somali. Our flags that represent our waters, our lands, independence. Oh, stranger, I will no longer let you strip me of my extraordinary identity as a Black Muslim girl. Oh, stranger, your words were nothing but a mere echo, humbled by the overpowering voices of the fellow nation of mine, of Black Muslim women. To the white man on the train, this message isn't just limited to you. It's to the system, to society, to white supremacists all over the world. Check your ignorance before you approach another Black Muslim girl.
Oh,
Thank you, thank you. That is TCI. I just want to also say thank you to Patrice Powell for all her help with running this with the students, as well as to Sheldon. And thank you so much, Karen, for this opportunity as well. Superintendent Karen Murray, thank you so much.
powerful, powerful, powerful. And thank you, TCI. I hope y'all felt the energy. And yeah, I don't even know if I have any more words. I think you feel the words, but ultimately this was a beautiful project. And I think, yeah, this just gives a lot of voice to a lot of students, and excited to hear more poems. But thank you again.
Wonderful. Thank you very much to all of our students joining us from Ontario that have shared. My name's Rebecca. I've been working with Queen Elizabeth High School during this AP whirlwind that we are on together. Unfortunately, I've been so busy. I actually have not had a ton of time to witness their work with the poetry, but I would like to welcome quickly Tamira Mohammed, who is the former Youth Poet Laureate with Edmonton, who has had a chance to do a little bit of work with our students to prepare for this event. Now, we don't quite have the time and the amount that you guys are able to prepare, but I think you guys are going to be really impressed with the work that our students are able to put together. So Tamira, did you want to maybe just say a quick brief message about the students' preparation for this event?
Yeah, hello everyone. Really excited to be here. Feeling really inspired by what I'm hearing so far. When I was with the students at Queenie, we talked a little bit about the idea of that line from the anthem, God keep our land glorious and free, and just thinking about what does glory actually look like for each of us in our communities, in our lives, in our bodies. How do we build home here? And yeah, the students, each of them had already had the knowledge of self. The words were there, and it was just an invitation for them to dig deeper. So I'm really excited for you all to hear.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. All right. So without further ado, I'm going to welcome our first speaker, Hibak Hassan. Hibak, we haven't been able to test your audio. Did you want to just quickly say hello? We can make sure that we're able to hear you. We can see you. Yeah, it sounds good. All right. You guys are welcome to get started whenever you're ready.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Hibak. I'm from Queen Elizabeth High School, and I'm going to be performing a poem called How Does My Hijab Affect You? How does my hijab affect you? A piece of me, not a piece of you. My hijab is something I represent, but you neglect. How can you feel afraid of what I put on my own head? From a dangerous country I fled, thinking I would have a better life ahead. But instead, I walk these very streets afraid if I'm next. And the news we're abused, and the people they refuse, we have to make a big petition or cause a riot till they listen. And when we think we got a justice, it's always under a condition. And so we pull ourselves together and we keep it all in. But the disrespect we feel will always stay within, even for the people with the toughest skin. When will we ever win? How does my hijab affect you when I'm walking towards you and you feel condoned to do something you're not supposed to? How does my hijab affect you if it's my voice and my choice, but yet it's still a noise? In a world where all we got is pride, where the blacks were once segregated from the whites, where communities had to fight for their rights, you think would be at ease, and this generation would be at peace, but still, we suffer at the hands of the privileged.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And while we switch out to our other speaker, I will welcome our second student volunteer. Our second speaker is Lena Yassin. So Lena, I will pass the microphone over to you and you can go ahead and share your poem as well.
Hi, my name is Lena Yassin, and I'll be reading the poem, Where Does Your Glory Live? Where does your glory live, O steadfast land, when the flag is torn from your people's hand? It lives in the olive, ancient and wise, in its roots as deep as your endless skies. In the watermelon's flesh of red and green, a quiet flag in the fields unseen. Its sweetness carries the hope you keep, even when the world lets your sorrows steep. No colors may fly, no banners may wave, but your spirits bloom where the olives say. Your glory lives in the earth, so true, and every tree and fruit, it lives in you. Where does your glory live, O strong land, when they take the flag from your people's hand? It lives in the olive, rooted and old, and the watermelons red and green, so bold. It grows in the trees, it blooms in the air. In the fruits and fields, your colors are there. No one can steal what the earth lets you keep. Your glory lives where your roots run deep.
Beautiful. Thank you. I just want to say thank you very much for getting up and sharing in front of everyone. I know it can be very scary, but everybody did such an amazing job. That's it from me.
Amazing. Thank you so much to all of our students who shared with us today. It can be so intimidating to share stuff that is personal to us about our identity and our experiences, and to be able to embrace that and hear it and have it acknowledged and represented. I hope you feel the love coming from this room and from those who are watching online, in how we really hear you and want to honor your experiences and everything that you've shared with us today. As we move on to our next speaker, thank you to all of those students for your amazing creative works. It's my absolute pleasure to introduce a phenomenal artist, an advocate whose work perfectly represents the themes of creativity, resilience, and community that we've been talking about already today. Dominique Grant is an award-winning Canadian singer-songwriter, keynote speaker, and social entrepreneur, has a powerful voice that transcends borders and ignites important conversations around the globe. She's been recognized as one of Canada's top 100 most powerful women, and Dominique's music not only resonates with her audience, but has played a pivotal role in elevating some of the largest global movements. With a passion for intertwining her degree in international development with the arts, Dominique is the founder of Grant Creativity, Inc., and an award-winning social enterprise that empowers equity-deserving creatives to turn their visions into sustainable realities. Her work exemplifies the belief that art can be a catalyst for change, a theme that is echoed through today's discussions around the power of words and the healing potential of storytelling. Moreover, Dominique is the driving force behind Imagine Summit, presented by RBC, one of Canada's largest gatherings focused on mental wellness and professional development for equity-seeking creatives. Through her platform, she fosters discussions that uplift voices, build communities, and promote mental and financial literacy. Please join me in welcoming Dominique Grant to share her reflections and talents with us today as we close out our event, celebrating the undeniable power of words and art, to share and our shared commitment to building brighter futures together. Dominique.
Thank you so much. And hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Congratulations to every voice that I have heard today. I think what's so transformative is that we all have gifts. And as students, as artists, as creatives, we often think that the ability to turn our experience, our stories into poetry is something that everyone can do. And it isn't. It's a gift and it's a blessing. And so I just want to start by giving you your flowers and saying congratulations for turning your lived experience into something that supported everyone, me personally, on this for this event in healing and in growth. But also I'm so excited for everything that you're going to do with this as a catalyst. Randell, is a friend, and also I have always been a champion of his work, and I'm so grateful to be in this space with such an intersectional and interdisciplinary group of folks. So I just wanted to also say congratulations, Randell, and to everyone who collaborated, Sarah and your entire team, to put this together. I'm an award-winning singer-songwriter, and I like to start really quickly with talking about turning difference, adversity into a gift and into a superpower. I now know that as a 6-year-old kid navigating the world with an immigrant Jamaican mother, that I grew up with high functioning anxiety. And I was told, that I didn't fit into certain classrooms. And for years and years, I struggled in the education system until I found the teachers and the individuals in rooms who decided to teach me how to use what was difference and to turn it into a superpower. Years later, I decided to go to school and to not only study, music and theater, but to do a double major in international development. And by doing an internship in Uganda, East Africa, in my 3rd year, I was introduced to an organization that blended the arts, entertainment, and wellness. And we developed programming across Uganda within the span of 6 months. I came back to Canada with my first humanitarian award. I want to talk to you about turning your difference into your gift. A lot of the time as artists, as creatives, we're given intuition, we're given talent, we're given stories, we're given pain. And that pain, if you use it the right way and you really leverage it, can make impact not only in your life, but in the lives of others and communities and globally. When 2020 came about and the pandemic hit, that anxiety came back, and the tool that my mother taught me, which we only had access to because we couldn't afford therapy, my mom taught me how to use my imagination. And so I turned my imagination into writing a song that started out with poetry. And after turning that poetry into a song and going into a community called the Esplanade, I performed in the streets of Toronto, and a clip of that one song ended up going viral. And in the span of 24 hours, my entire career changed. Within that year, appeared in commercials opening for the 65th Grammy Awards with RBC. And I also had RBC reach out and say, how else can we support you? And I said, well, I made a promise to my mother. And that promise was that if she supported my career as an artist, I'd reinvest into community. And so I reinvested some of the profits from that single, and I founded the Imagine Summit and Grant Creativity, Inc. Today, we've supported thousands of young people in not only learning how to understand mental wellness, but how to reprogram the fear, trauma, and anxiety that get in the way of our dreams, how to take those blocks that show up on a day-to-day, and how to ask those blocks how we can turn it into our art. Today, the Imagine Summit is one of the largest wellness and professional development summits in Canada. And having been added to Canada's top 100 most powerful women this year, I did do a speech, and that speech was to remember that your difference, when you understand your gift, you can turn it into a superpower. Today, my EP, Queen Dom, was nominated for Amazon Artist of the Year, as well as was recognized by BBC as one of the most important voices in music. And I share this because all of my music came from growing up in a not-for-profit housing community. It came from inner child healing, which Randell spoke about. It came from learning and having to face the realities that as a Black woman, a Black female who's neurodivergent and who also has to navigate intersectionality in this world, we really have to learn how to turn our adversity into stories like a lot of the young people did today, so that we can actually empower and turn our pain into a gift. And so I know that we are just about to close, and I thought I would just do a quick a cappella of one of the poems that ended up turning into a song, and that was launched across Canada with Shea Moisture, one of the largest beauty brands in Canada, and has propelled my music to become and sit at the forefront of a lot of our experiences as diverse women, as gender diverse women, and as humans. This one's called Be Your Beautiful. Time to wake up, open the curtains, let the day begin. In the mirror, there's someone who wants to show the world they love the skin they're in. Let your curls come down and shine your natural light. Wear them like a crown, 'cause this is your time to be your beautiful. When they say you're not enough, when you feel like giving up, remember wherever you go, be your beautiful. 'Cause beautiful is you. Thank you so much for having me today. And on behalf of RBC, on behalf of the Future Launch Program, I also just want to let you all know that there are resources on the RBC Youth Career Hub where you can go and learn about access to a number of programs, to scholarships, to funding, and to so much more that can support you in investing in turning this incredible talent of poetry into going to school, into getting a post-secondary degree, and of course into investing in a big vision that you have that maybe no one sees, but that you have been given for a reason. Thank you all so much for having me today. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Randell. Thank you to the TDSB. And of course, thank you, RBC and the Future Launch Program for all of your support.
Amazing. I can see all sorts of people just wishing they could jump on and say thank you and share and celebrate. But we are at our time, and so unfortunately you're gonna have to hear my words of thank you. So thank you, Dominique, for joining us. Thank you, Randell, for joining us as well and sharing not only your time here today, but all the time, and Tamirio as well, for sharing all the time you had with the students to prepare them for this, to let your light shine and be inspiration for the students to really see themselves as being able to express their voice and be heard and be passionate about who they are and recognize as such. So thank you to of course, RBC Future Launch and our partners, TDSB, Peel School District, Edmonton Public, and Halifax Regional, as we come together nationally to have this vital conversation around what does it mean to not only celebrate identities in our locations, but as a national conversation, and having students share and understand different perspectives from different areas of our country and hearing our stories together. So thank you all for being a part of this creative celebration. Let us continue to uplift and listen to each other and harness the power of our words to inspire change and foster understanding. Have a wonderful day, everyone. It was so wonderful seeing you here today. Thank you. Thank you so much.